every time you listen to my music or you relate to my brand, you just feel like empowered and you feel that, you know, you can do anything you want to do in this world and anything is possible. You know, like that's the message that I want to send out to those, you know, and also make it clear to them as well too, you know, because I just believe that in this world we're all destined. Right. You know, all of us have a destiny, and some of us don't know what it is. Some of us feel like we don't have a purpose, but I believe all of us have been given one. It's just a matter of, do you want to like go after it, or do you just want to settle?
Right. Exactly.
You know.
Welcome to the Everything and Anything podcast, where we talk about everything and anything. I'm your host, Frank.
And I'm your host, Uzi.
And today we got Yelena Rosa
Yelena.
in the building.
The beautiful, the amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Very good, very good. It's been a really chill day for me, actually.
Yeah.
It's so chill.
Yeah. This is great that we have you here. We've been trying to do this for a little bit now, and we really appreciate you coming through, you know, and we think you're a very talented person. And a lot of people from New England know who you are. You know, you're a Latin Grammy winner, right?
Oh, well, not yet. Oh, well. Boston Latin Artist of the Year.
See, that's what it was. Yeah. That's what it was. Mm-hmm. Sorry.
So who moves that? Sorry. Who promotes that? Who moves that?
The people that are part of the Boston Latin, you know, not Boston Latin, the people that are part of the Boston Music Awards.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
wow. Mm-hmm. It's a big roster of musicians and artists.
Oh, yeah, like a bunch of genres. And, like, they decided to put Latin music as the genre, like literally 2022, which was the year that I won.
Wow. Oh, yeah, 2022 is when you won. Okay.
Yeah. So the last time I guess it was part of like one of like the genres or nominations, whatever, was back in the 90s from what I heard. Wow. Yeah.
So they reintroduced it in 22, and that's when you won. Wow,
yeah.
That was a big win.
That is a big win.
Wow,
that's a huge win.
Yeah.
And does that inspire you to like keep doing what you're doing?
Yeah, no, it definitely did inspire me a lot. It really did confirm to me a lot of things, because at the time I was going through a lot of personal stuff that really was like making me question my existence, or making me question if music was truly for me. Was I really gonna make it? Am I really that talented? There was a lot of things going on, and so I feel like when the nomination came about, it kind of like was like the universe and God telling me like we promise you, you're doing good, like please, like
it validates what you're doing, your path. That's amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing.
And what made you want to become an artist?
So at the age of 7, my father, I tell this story all the time, but my dad pretty much, when I was younger, he would always, like, every time he came home from work, the biggest thing he loved to do was, like, bring movies that he bought from Walmart, right? Like, I think they still do it, but I remember back then, like, they always had those boxes of, like, DVDs that cost, like, $5-10 or so. Yeah. So he brought one all the time, and one of the movies he brought one day specifically was the Selena movie.
Love it.
And, you know, of course, like everyone else did.
Oh, my gosh.
Watched it, fell in love. I didn't even know that she was dead when I watched it, because she obviously died, like, you know, way before I was born. And so I was just so amazed, and, like, I was just so inspired by her story, but also by, like, everything that she did as an artist and stuff like that. And that even made me cherish even more like music in general. And then I guess that's when I realized like I knew how to sing, because I would like mimic her, like how to sing her songs, her dance moves. And then I started doing that like with other artists too, like Shakira Jennifer
okay.
Lopez, of course,
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Amazing.
But Selena was the one that really kicked off like the inspiration for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's a trendsetter.
Absolutely.
Definitely, she's a
Very-
trendsetter.
yeah,
She's
she's-
amazing.
Yeah.
Yes,
She broke
yeah.
a lot of barriers in the genre.
Yeah,
Yeah, she
and
did.
that's why J Lo's career kind of took off, was after the movie she made for Selena.
Yeah, pretty
Yep.
much. Yeah.
That's crazy. And would you say like Selena just has like a huge influence in your music?
Yeah, Selena definitely does. I feel like in every aspect, she, you know, music wise, personal wise, like pretty much the essence of a woman. Like she's my inspiration, you know?
Yeah.
Because, you know, like I don't like there was just something about her that obviously made her stick out from like the rest,
Right.
you know? And there's a lot of unique artists nowadays, but she was one artist that like there was something so simple about her, but also just very unique, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah.
You know? So, and she was very creative too. Like not only was she a singer, but she also was a designer.
Right.
She also
okay.
was a businesswoman.
Yeah.
Like before she unfortunately was taken from this world, she was set to, you know, push out her line of clothes.
Yeah.
I didn't
her
know that. I didn't know that at all.
salon, and-
Wow.
Yeah, like she was
Wow.
pretty much like what Rihanna ended up doing. Like in a sense, she was gonna do it, but
Yeah.
obviously in her
Yeah.
own
Her
way.
time and
you
her
know?
era. Yeah.
Exactly, and that's very inspirational because that's what I would like to do as I become successful in my music career, and eventually, you know, not only because you know people should know this, but like as an artist, you shouldn't only earn money from your music.
I was gonna
You
say
need
that.
to-
Absolutely.
Yeah, I feel like that's been an up and coming conversation with a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you have to have a plan. Once you get to a certain level, you have to understand. Now you have to spread your
your wealth.
portfolio.
Because
Exactly.
you have to,
Yeah.
yes, exactly. Yeah, your portfolio, but also your wealth, because at the end of the day, you always want income to be coming in.
Definitely.
You know?
Right.
And so, and why not like start your own business or invest in real estate or, you know, whatever it is that you want to do, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Yep.
She would
That's true.
design. She would design like when they did live performance. She would design like the outfits and
that
stuff
was-
like
yeah,
that.
I didn't know
she
that.
did.
Yeah, dude. It was.
Yeah,
she
she
was. She was
did.
dope. She was dope. So why are you called Yelena La Rosa?
Well, Yelena is my birth name.
Okay.
My dad actually was the one that gave me that name.
Shout
at
out to
birth.
Pops.
Yep.
Yeah. My mom originally she actually wanted to name me Nairobi, which
Okay.
would have been beautiful. It's a beautiful
Yeah.
name.
Yeah. Yeah.
But my dad was like, "No, we're gonna name her Yelena."
Yelena.
Or Yelena. So I was just, you know, so I just kind of like didn't want to obviously change my artist name, but La Rosa eventually came later on because actually a funny story about this. So back in 2020 when I first was starting my music career, right? Like I was putting myself out there as an artist and working on music and trying to figure out what kind of music I want to put out. The engineer at the time that I started working with, his name was David. I remember we would make jokes about like whether or not I should change my artist name. And one of the names that we kind of were talking about was La Rosa. But that was only because like when it comes to my brand, one thing about me, I love roses,
Oh, okay.
especially red roses.
Okay.
And I've always, for some reason, always identified a lot with the flower, you know? And right now where I'm at in my life, I really see myself blossoming into this beautiful, you know, red rose, you know, with everything that I've experienced and learned in life. And, you know, and I'm at a point right now where it's like, I'm really stepping into who I'm truly meant to become, you know?
Okay.
Or working towards it, I would say. And so then, what was it, like last year or the year before, a friend of mine, he's also a Latin artist named Skip to Dip.
Okay.
Skip. Shout out to Skip.
Yeah.
Yes. He ends up writing this song. It was like him and his manager, Brian, and the song, they titled it La Rosa.
Oh,
And they
okay.
did it as inspiration because they knew that Selena was a big inspiration to me, but they also knew that, you know, my brand is all about the rose.
Exactly.
And so I guess, you know, again, like to where I'm at in life, I felt like, you know what, La Rosa like makes sense for me right now. Like with the person that I'm, you know, I'm continuously working on myself every single day. Like there's so much that I've been through since I started my music career. And thinking about La Rosa, when I think about, I say alter ego, but when I think about, you know, the essence of La Rosa, I just think about this very divine, strong woman. And that's the woman that I'm working towards to becoming each and every day. You know, as I'm trying to heal, as I'm trying to take accountability of my mistakes, releasing, letting go, you know, all that kind of stuff that I'm working on right now at this time.
That's beautiful.
So,
It
yeah.
takes
I feel like that
time.
name
You're
really
building and
suits you. You
cultivating.
know, like some
Yeah,
artists
yeah.
have names, but like it's good to have like a meaning and a purpose behind your artist name.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. What is the purpose of your music? Like, what do you want the audience to remember you for your music? Like,
I would say the biggest thing that I want the audience to remember me for, especially when it comes to my music, is, remember me by like, how do I explain this? Like, I just want people to feel empowered at the end of the day. Not only when they listen to my music, but when they're watching, like, I don't know, me doing interviews, or when they're reading, I don't know, my story. Like, there's still so much that people don't know about me, I would say. And a lot of stuff, it's, you know, I'm feeling closer and closer to tell people, you know, when it gets to that point, or like public wise. But I just overall just want people to feel empowered. I just want people to feel like no matter what they've been through in life, whether it's, you know, traumas or, you know, anything horrific that truly like affected you, whether it was, you know, negative or even positive, I just, every time you listen to my music or you relate to my brand, you just feel like empowered, and you feel that, you know, you can do anything you want to do in this world, and anything is possible. You know, like that's the message that I want to send out to those, you know, and also make it clear to them as well too, you know, because I just believe that in this world we're all destined.
right.
You know, all of us have a destiny, and some of us don't know what it is. Some of us feel like we don't have a purpose, but I believe all of us have been given one. It's just a matter of, do you want to like go after it, or do you just want to settle?
Right.
Exactly.
You know?
Right.
So, yeah.
And what's the biggest lesson have you learned that being in the music industry?
I mean, so far I would say you got to listen to yourself. For those who are a people pleaser like myself, it's very easy to be swayed by others' opinions.
Right.
And sometimes those opinions may not work in your benefit, you know?
That's so true, though.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's really, really best, in my opinion, to use your discernment, or to listen to your intuition, or, again, listen to yourself.
Right.
Because you know what is best for you at the end of the day.
Right.
It's okay. Everyone can give you advice. Everyone can tell you like, oh, maybe you should try this, or maybe you should try that, or maybe you shouldn't wear this, or maybe you should do your hair like this. It's a right to listen to those opinions, but at the end of the day, like, you know, at the end of the day, what is best for you.
Yeah, I like that you said that, because it's not cookie cutter.
Yeah.
I feel like I come back to that a lot with other artists too. It's like, it's not one size fits all. You know, you got to kind of find what works for you, what reaches your audience.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, the message that you want to convey, the music, how you want to bring it. You know what I mean? It's not the same for everybody. It really isn't.
Exactly, yeah, exactly.
How important is it to you to have a team with you?
Very important. I'm at a point now where I just can't do it by myself.
I love that. Talk to us about your team.
Yeah.
From top to bottom, everything.
It's continuously growing. Like, I'm grateful for those, and it's a lot of them. So like, it's a lot to name, but I'm grateful for those that have remained to still be here since the beginning.
Okay.
Even though like they're not my team, like they're, you know, I still don't have a manager. I don't have an assistant. I don't, you know, there's a lot of things I don't have, but I am thankful for those that at least tried to step in temporarily.
Yep.
And tried to help when they could, you know, because it takes a lot, you know, to build an artist, or even you as an artist, it takes a lot for you to build yourself up, especially when you're doing it alone. And I'm just very, very grateful for those who have tried to step in and have helped me with certain things that I felt like I couldn't do on my own, or because I didn't have the knowledge, you know?
Right.
But now I'm truly manifesting a permanent team. I'm manifesting an assistant. I'm manifesting a manager. I'm manifesting, also a publicist in the Latin industry. I had a friend of mine who was my publicist, and she was more so helping me in the American side of things. But no matter what, like, I'm manifesting an actual team, because I feel that now it does really make sense.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We want to see you win. We want to see you project to bigger and better.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I feel like
Thank
when
you.
you're doing a lot of things by yourself, it can become overwhelming.
Yep.
You know what I
Yes,
mean?
it
So it's
can.
good to have a team that you can rely on, and someone that's actually for you, because you can have a team, but doesn't mean that they're all for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So you gotta have the right people around you, and you cannot do it by yourself.
Who are some people that were groundbreaking that helped you from the beginning that you want to shout out today?
I would say David. Like I said, he's the engineer that I was working with back in like 2020.
Yeah.
Who really, really advised me on a lot of things, especially on like the financial aspect of being an artist and the
That's a big one.
finances
That's a big
in
one.
general.
Yeah.
Because at the time, like, I feel like when the pandemic was happening, a lot of people were becoming like, what's it called? A lot of people were wanting to know about stocks and investing and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And I had a lot of conversations with him about that. Skip as well. I met him back in 2020 due to my ex Richard, who like recommended me to work with him and stuff, which I'm grateful for, because Skip is another artist. Like, it's great to see his growth.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
And it's it's cool that like we see each other, like we've seen how much
He's a
we've
very
grown.
positive person. I love working with Skip and yourself as well.
Thank
Very
you, yeah.
positive people. Yeah, I like
I
that.
try.
Yeah.
I have my days.
Yeah, we all do. We all do.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Very complex. But anyways, yes, Skip, and then his manager Brian. I really do appreciate
Shout out to
him.
Brian.
Shout out to Brian.
Brian has been also a huge help. And then who else? There's been a lot of people. Talia, she became my publicist last year. She's a close friend of mine. We met in college. She's like a sister to me. I'm truly grateful for her too, because she was the one that really like also educated me on a lot of things that I was not aware of from a business standpoint. And so because of her, I really learned a lot of stuff that I already knew, but a lot of stuff that I didn't know. And so from each other, we kind of like we learned from each other, and we had a lot of realizations together.
Yeah.
And I'm just I'm super grateful for what she was able to help me with and stuff like that, knowing the fact that she also had a lot going on. And it's the same with the other people too that I just mentioned. As well too, there was a point I was working with DJ Alcide. There were certain things he was helping me with as well too. And who else? There's
And they're all
like a lot
from
of
this
people.
area. They're from Boston.
From Boston,
our area?
yeah.
Okay.
There's like a lot of people I can honestly shout out. I have a very long list. I'm not gonna lie. So anyone I didn't shout out, like, just understand, like,
We'll put them in the credits.
yeah, please do because there is a lot of people, and I'm
Yes.
the type of person that I like to
Give credit.
give credit to everyone.
Yeah.
And, like,
I respect that.
because at the end of the day, like, I feel like it's why not?
Right.
Like, gratitude
Claro.
is very important in my opinion.
Right.
Claro.
So, and at the end of the day, like, if someone helps you, you might as well just, show your
Yeah.
appreciation. Even if things went sideways, I still like to show, as they say, I still like to show love to those who are no longer in my life.
Right.
Not that the other ones I mentioned they still are, but others who did come along the way and try to help me, some of them are not. And I'm still grateful for them.
That's
Yeah,
good.
You gotta
That's
give
good.
them their flowers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In your case, roses.
Yes, yeah, roses, yes.
What are some notable live performances that you've done recently or in the past that you want to highlight?
My most notable one was definitely performing for the Celtics, the halftime
Yep,
show.
yep, I saw it.
Yes,
I
wanted to bring that up.
I made
wanted to
sure.
bring
I
that
made
up.
sure I was
wanted to bring
watching
that
it.
up.
I made sure.
All you
I
Celtics
appreciate
fans.
I'm not a Celtics fan, but I was watching the game. I was watching the game that day because of you were gonna perform. So yeah, how was that experience?
It was very nerve wracking. It was really nerve wracking.
Imagine,
Yeah.
yo.
Yeah, it was really nerve wracking. Shout out to the guys from 801 Studios, Barbette, Nuno, and Bruno. They were the perfect media team for me that day.
Shout out.
So I really appreciate them. Yeah, 801 Production Studios. Let me get that correct. In Brockton, Massachusetts. But anyways, so yeah, it was very nerve wracking. I was very grateful for the experience. I didn't think it was gonna come to me sooner than I imagined. I felt like I did good, but I could have done better. But that's just me.
Okay.
Yeah. There will be more. There will be more.
Yeah, I'm praying for there's more halftime
Absolutely.
shows and for me to also go back to the TD Garden again as well too to perform. But overall, it was like another confirmation as well for me too.
Yes,
Again,
then you're on the right path.
Yeah, exactly.
That's amazing. So
Yeah.
did they pick your song or did you pick the song?
I picked the song.
So what song did you pick and why did you pick it?
So it was 2 songs that I picked. I picked Bidi Bidi Bum Bum by
Yeah.
Selena.
Okay.
Yeah, and then which was an idea from my friend Talia. She was like, for the longest time, she kept telling me like, you gotta sing that song live. You gotta sing that song live. And I kept telling her like, no, I'm not singing that song. I gotta perfect that song. Like I can't just butcher it. Like
Yeah.
that's like
That's the queen.
Yeah, like exactly. Like I can't butcher that song. And we were in LA back in February for Grammys week, and she
Which we got to talk about.
yeah. And we were in the car, and like the song, I forget who put it on, but the song came on, and I was just like singing to it, like like not really caring. And then she was like, "See, that's what I'm talking about. You have to do this live." And I was like, "Okay, fine." So yeah, Bidi Bidi Bum Bum. And then the second song that I sang was my song that I'm coming out with this month, titled La Rosa.
La Rosa.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, awesome.
Great picks.
I like asking this next question, because everybody has different ways of their process. But what is your creative process like?
When it comes to writing a song or producing in the studio, what's your
What are your steps? Yeah, what are your creative steps? Like, do you create the melody first? Do you have lyrics? Do you write the lyrics, or do you kind of like freestyle a little bit? Everybody has different processes,
So I definitely do try to be prepared before I go into the studio.
of course.
That's professionalism.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Yeah, because I've just learned, like, there's been times I've gone where I've had something written, not like a full song, but like I had something and then I worked on the rest of it while I was in the studio. But I definitely try to like at least write, like finish the song lyric wise and feel ready to at least go in, because I at least know like how everything is gonna go, rather than having to like pause like here and there and during the session to try to like fix this or try to like pretty much finish the song.
Yeah.
So that's definitely one thing for me. And when it comes to writing itself, whatever ideas come to mind, I just either voice record myself.
Smart.
And yeah, because
I forget.
Yeah, exactly. Like, because there's been times where like an idea has came to my mind and I'm like driving and I'm like, I know I'm not gonna remember this.
Yeah.
Voice notes, and you gotta
Yeah, exactly. So like doing like a voice memo, as well as if I am home and I get an idea, I immediately just write it down, and I just honestly just use my phone. Like I don't really use notebooks like I used to when I was much younger.
Right.
So
I kind of miss that era though a little bit. I mean, thank God for technology where we could type it faster and use different apps to even help us.
Yeah.
But I kind of like that era where it's just more simple.
It commits you to it. That's what it is. 'Cause I have the same process when I have to learn songs, because some weeks it's like 40 plus 50 plus songs that I have to learn for different gigs.
Yeah.
So hearing it is one thing, but for me, the way I commit it to memory, I have to write it down.
Yeah.
That
I
makes
have to
sense.
see it, put it out of my head, and put it on paper.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah.
So you said that you have a new song coming up, La Rosa.
Yes, on the 24th.
And when and it's coming out the 24th.
Yeah, this month, May 24th. Yeah.
Now, is that just a single or is
It's just a single.
Okay. Now, do you have any like other projects coming up?
So once La Rosa is out, then my next step is to start working on my first like EP.
Okay.
Or album, however you want to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like the next step for me.
Okay. Yeah. I was telling this to the last artist we had here. Like EPs, I think that's like the movement now in a way, because not a lot of people could sit there and listen to a whole album.
Yeah. No.
They rather listen to singles or an EP and stuff like that. So yeah, that's dope. That's
exactly,
dope.
Yeah.
Do you channel your emotions into your music? Like when you are making a song, do you channel that emotion into the song itself?
I would say I do, but what I'm really wanting to tap more into is actually that, is like not feeling so scared to tap more of my emotions into it.
Okay.
Especially like now I don't want to be afraid of writing about my experiences.
Gotcha.
Especially experiences that a lot of people don't know.
Yeah.
That I dealt with in life.
Okay.
So that's like another thing that I really would like to do a lot more in my upcoming project.
Yeah.
You know, is that. But I would say, yeah, like majority of the time I am like putting my emotions into it, but I want to like push myself to do it more without even having to like overthink about, but like, oh, what are they gonna think, or blah, blah, blah.
Right.
You know, because like that's still something that I have to still really tap more into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you believe in ghostwriting?
Oh yeah.
Like somebody writes you a song.
I love this question.
Since they can't execute it themselves, or just people get hired for that. You know, they write songs. Where's your take on that?
Are you for it? Are you against it? Are you kind of on the fence about it? You're kind of.
Would you personally do it for yourself or no?
Like, would I ghostwrite for someone else?
Would you ghostwrite, or would you allow someone to ghostwrite? Would you
hire someone to ghostwrite for you?
Yes and no.
Okay.
From a business standpoint, if you want to make a mainstream song, right, a song that's gonna like be like the summer hit or whatever, and it makes sense for me to hire a ghostwriter, or at least hire a second person that could be like part of like the songwriting process of it, then yes.
Okay.
If in general for all my songs, no. Like I still at least, I mean, the way I look at it as, especially as my team grows, like I feel like I want to have a few songwriters a part of that team.
Okay.
You know, not saying that I want to get to a point where I'm never writing my songs, but at the end of the day, like there's a lot of people that are much better songwriters than me.
Yeah.
You know, respectfully.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm a good songwriter, but I'm also not the best.
Right.
So like the way that I see myself and the way that where I want to get to my career, I would be open to it if it doesn't make sense.
That's a very humble thing to say. That shows a lot of humility from your part.
Yeah,
I mean, being able to delegate something like that. That's
because like at the end of the day, like I mean, it's all up. Like bring back Selena, right?
Yeah.
Selena didn't write all her songs.
I was just gonna say that her brother wrote a lot of it.
Yeah.
Her team, the
she
singers.
Literally had, exactly. She literally had a team. Like Selena was focused. Like, tell me if I'm wrong, but Selena was focusing on performing, on singing, and being the artist.
Yeah.
She was the person in the front lines.
Yeah.
Okay. Her brother ended up taking the initiative to not only be the songwriter, it was him and another guy named Pete.
Yeah.
And also sometimes he would be the producer.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they all worked together on that, and then Selena would, then they'd be like, yo, Selena, like we have this song for you. I wrote it for you. What you think? And then of course she would put probably her 2 cents in it, I'm assuming, and her own touch to it. And there you go. And like, I feel like, in my opinion, when I think about music and I think about a team, that's how it should be. And
Exactly.
that shouldn't be an issue.
Right,
I mean,
right.
I don't know why people kind of like put a stigma on ghostwriting.
Yeah.
Because in my opinion, like music is art and music should be felt.
Yes.
That's
If
true.
I can add more people into creating a work of art, then I'm gonna add people.
Yeah, of course.
To help me create this beautiful work of art, so that it can touch the masses.
Yeah,
right.
Like it's point blank. Period.
Right,
like that's just how I look at it as.
Yeah.
You know. But one thing I would say is like I would always want to have my 2 cents in the process.
Of course.
Or at least feel open to add my own touch to it. If I can.
Of course.
You know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I feel the same exact way. You know, I don't knock it. You know, will I use it for every song on my album or on my EP? Of course not. But if somebody has a better writing penmanship or executes the songwriting a little bit better than I do, then why not? You know what I mean?
Definitely.
I'm the type of person, right? I like my stuff to sound perfect, even though it's not gonna sound perfect.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Yeah.
But I'm very picky and I'm very precise, and I'm trying to learn that even though that it's not exactly perfect, that maybe I should release the song regardless. You know, so like I have a hard time releasing certain songs because the potential is there, but it's not at where I want it to be. But sometimes that kind of like when you're procrastinating or prolong a project, it just gets put on the shelf. You know what I mean? Now, do you have any unreleased songs that you feel that way with?
Yeah, I mean, there's like 2 right now, but they potentially may be on my project.
Okay.
And then there was last year when I was preparing myself to release an EP, but then I did a whole rebranding. But I ended up putting it out on SoundCloud. There was originally this project that I was gonna release, like, you know, on all platforms, titled "My Love Letter to You."
Okay.
And it's more so on an R&B type of feel.
Okay. In Spanish or in English?
A mix.
Okay.
Like, more so English.
Yes.
And a little bit of Spanish.
Fire. Yeah.
But because now I've, know what exactly I want or what kind of music I want to put out and focus more on as I continue to grow in my artistry, I just felt that, especially with my friend when she started helping me on the publicity side of things, it just made more sense to just kind of at least like put that, the project on SoundCloud or just kind of keep it there, you know, and then maybe I could come back to it later in the future and stuff, and maybe do a remix on it or whatever it may be, or also use some of those songs for like my next project.
Exactly.
Like that, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Do you plan on doing like a whole English EP or a whole English album or mix? Do you want it to be bilingual or strictly just Spanish?
I would like for it to either be Spanish or bilingual.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. It's hard sometimes. See, I like to do my music in English, but I would love to just get on the other side and be able to rap in Spanish. But it's just tough. It's tough for me writing wise because it's like you got to make it make sense, And then
can I ask you both something, because you're both artists?
Yeah.
When you're writing a song idea came to mind. You're inspired. You got the pen to paper. In that part of the process, do you think about how am I going to perform this thing live? At all?
Let me think.
How's this gonna come out? Like, I'm writing this bomb arrangement, boom, boom. We're producing it. We're in the studio. Da da da. Is that part of your process at all? You can go first, Frankie.
For me, I think like I kind of pay attention to like how. So when I'm writing, I kind of try to pay attention to like my breath control. Like punching in takes and punching out of takes. Like I look at that stuff to make sure like I'm able to perform the song without having to like pause, and then just depending on how the song is too, like
that it's realistic for you to be able to perform.
Exactly.
Okay.
I wouldn't say that's the first thing I'm thinking about. Maybe during the process, but that's not one of the first things. Like, I'm gonna kill this live. No, but the beat, I pay attention to the beat. Like, this is gonna sound sick live.
Okay,
you know what I mean.
So for you, there's some songs that are probably not gonna be performed live.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if it is, I would have to finesse it in a way where we have to do an arrangement, a nice arrangement for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my take on that.
Yeah.
I feel like not every song could be performed live or shouldn't be performed live.
Okay.
But that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
But everybody's different. What about you?
I don't know, with the type of songs I mean, there's definitely songs like I up until this point in my career, I only currently have, I think, about 9 or 10 songs out.
Okay.
And not all of them I performed them.
Okay.
Would I, if it made sense?
Yeah, there's ways to
But-
kind of rearrange.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
mhm.
But when I was writing the songs and working on them, did I really, in the moment, did I think like, oh, how am I going to perform this?
Mhm.
Not really. I think it was when I was like, oh, this is a song I'm going to perform for this show. Okay, we got to figure out how we want to go about with doing the performance or, whatever it may be.
So do you like studio more than live or live more than studio?
I like live more than studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could they
This
get
is
to
my
connect
home.
with the audience.
That's
I
my
bet.
home. I loved it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's why I really want to get better as a live performer, because I really live performances. Like especially when I watch the big artists, like for example, Karol G, for her song Amagura, her live version of it that she performed at the billboards with that big orchestra of like women sounds better than the original.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I want people to say like, oh wow, like that song sounds way better live than the studio version.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I would feel so happy if I could hear that from people, like, oh, she sounds way better live than in studio.
Right.
Because live is not easy.
Oh, it's not.
Yeah, it's not. It has its nuance. You can't stop and pause and then do it again.
Yeah,
you gotta
exactly.
have it like on point.
Like I recently started making music, but I've never performed live as an artist, but I performed as a musician.
Oh, okay.
But I've seen like artists is up there performing live, and I'm like, wow, this is not easy.
No, it's not.
It's really not.
It's not easy
It's
at
not.
all.
Especially when you're having technical difficulties
Yep.
and you're still learning. Like I know for me, like I'm still kind of like learning how to perform with the band. Like I'll admit all this. Like I don't care.
Yeah.
Like people like think like I got it together. Like some people like no. Like I don't want to call myself mediocre because I know I'm great.
Right.
But but I just know that I could be better. And when I look at what's better, that's what inspires me. And like I know that I could be better performing with the band. I know I could be better with performing live. I know I could be better with also dancing and singing live. Because the type of artist I see myself is an artist that is legit performing. Like I am a performer. I sometimes want to be that singer like Celine Dion and just like stand there and you look gracefully, but I also want to be like Beyonce and like singing and doing choreography at the same time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
it comes with time. I feel like it comes with practice. It's also a craft in its own.
Yeah.
I don't think
course.
people realize that there's a lot of nuances there to perform live.
Yes, and it's a lot of discipline. Like I mentioned Beyonce, but like if you ever watched her documentary on Netflix, like she kind of goes in details of like what she has to do in preparation for her concerts and stuff like that, and the discipline that she instills in herself. And I know that's something I also need to still work on, but I'm not there yet. But I want to still work on that now, so that when I am there, I at least feel secure.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I love watching the preparation of stuff like that. Like Michael Jackson's last rehearsals.
Oh yes,
those preparations, even the ones before, like the preparations are just the amount of hours he put in.
Yep.
He knows when the keys are not hitting the right note or the right rhythm, and the guy is phenomenal. So I like looking at stuff like that.
Yeah, me too.
Which songs of yours that you like to do live? Like which ones are your favorites?
I really like to do my song Caribeña, which is featured with Skip is featured on it.
Yeah.
As well as Pajarocito Mío, which is always going to be one of my favorites because that's a song that's like really speaks on like who I am as a person or how I view love or life in general. Diabla for sure. I really like that song. I feel like a lot of people like that one. And then whichever there was another one, but can't think of it myself. La Rosa, I performed it live here and there, and it seems like it people like it. So
how's that feeling when the audience is connecting with you?
I mean, it feels good. Like it really starts to make me feel more comfortable with them, but it also like just in general just kind of makes me feel like, like wow, like I want to do this more. Like what else can I give them to make them like feel satisfied?
Right.
Like it kind of like I don't know, it's very thrilling.
Yeah. I could just only imagine, having the audience sing your lyrics to you or just connecting with you. That's just an amazing feeling, I bet.
Yeah, it is.
What is advice that you could give upcoming artists?
Advice. Let me think.
Something, maybe it could be something that you wish you would have known when you first started your music, or something that could have helped you further your music career.
Know that this is going to cost you a lot of money.
Have a plan.
I like to be straight up with that.
Have a plan.
Yeah.
If you really feel like this is what you're destined for and you're not doing it for... Can I swear on this? No?
Yeah, you can swear on this if you want.
If you're not doing this for shits and giggles, really like, and you're serious about it, like, no, this is going to cost you a lot. It's going to be a huge investment. And depending on like how you see yourself, the more and more you get, you continue it, the more expensive it's going to get,
Definitely.
And don't let that stop you. I mean, I feel like for me, like, if you're going to let it stop you, then maybe it's really not for you.
Yeah.
Or maybe you have to think about on exactly like, go back to like your why. Like, why are you doing this? Why did you start doing this?
Yeah.
If you started doing it just because it was a hobby, then that's when you have to ask yourself, like, does it really make sense for me to invest in this? To continue it. So just know, like, in preparing starting a music career, whatever that looks like for you, it's going to be a huge investment. And if you're ready to make that investment, then, definitely go ahead. Like, I wish you all the best.
Right. Do you see yourself going on tour eventually?
Oh, yes. I mean, I don't know why I said, oh, yes. But, I mean, I would love to go on tour, but I just know it's going to be very tiring.
Yeah.
And I love my sleep.
Right.
So...
Yeah, I'm a different person when I don't get my sleep. Yeah. That's not Frankie, I'm telling you.
No, I'm like very about beauty. So when it comes to myself, and I don't look good if I look like I'm getting old. Not that I'm old, but I look like it, and I shouldn't be looking like it. It's a problem.
Yeah.
So, because I gotta look good at all times, in the most humblest way. But anyway, so I definitely would love to go on tour. Definitely. I definitely can't wait to experience it. I don't know if I'll, if I'm gonna have like be able to mentally prepare myself for it when it happens, but that is something I'm definitely looking towards for sure.
That's
in
awesome.
The future.
What do you do for work right now?
Well, right now I work with kids. So like right now I nanny, but I also work at a school, with kids that are kind of like have like behavioral issues and stuff like that, or disabilities. But
do you constantly think about like being on the road and touring while you're at your job?
No.
In the studio?
No.
Completely devoted to the kids.
No, I am at a point where I'm sorry to say this, and if anyone from my job watches this, I love the kids. I love it. I love working with kids. And that's something where when it comes to my music, I would love to come back to some of these places that I worked at, or even like my own elementary school, middle school, high school, and just talk to the kids, because, as they say, the kids are our future.
Right.
I don't know how the future's going to turn out. But
right.
At the end of the day, like our kids are our future. And a lot of these kids nowadays, like they're just, I don't know, like they're just too much in good and bad ways. But for me, I'm praying and manifesting that before this year ends, I don't really have to be relying on a 9-to-5 anymore to invest in my career, like wholeheartedly.
Gotcha.
Because, maybe in another life I was probably meant to be a teacher, but in this lifetime I just believe that I was destined for the music and for much bigger things that will come along with it, you know, and utilizing my platform for the right reasons.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
As long as you continue to position yourself for that, I feel like everything's gonna go maybe not as planned, but
no, yeah, of course not.
I think everything's gonna go good and great for you. You know?
Yeah, I pray for it.
Yeah.
God, universe, better
Yes.
listen.
Yeah.
I constantly think about that while I'm at work.
Yeah, we talked about it before.
Yeah, like, oh my gosh, like, I wish, you know? Can you imagine?
Dude, getting like a full-time gig with like Neo or like La Rosa. You know what I mean? That's dope.
It can happen though. It's possible. It's just,
course.
well, obviously we have to work towards it. So.
Right.
Absolutely.
And connecting with the right people.
That's where the crew comes in.
Oh, yes.
That's where you need a team.
Connecting the right people.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, who's your top 5 to 10 artists that you're listening to in 2024?
So you want me to do a top 5 or top 10?
It's up to you. You can name 5, you can name 10, you can name 20 if you want.
2024 right now. Okay, I think I'm gonna do top 5 because at top 10 we're gonna be here all day. Top 5, Kali Uchis.
Okay.
Gato G.
Okay.
For sure. I've grown to really love her a lot more.
Yeah, she's dope.
And I'm happy for her in every single way. Same with Kali Uchis. Who else?
Do you mess with Becky G?
I do. I've always liked Becky G. You know, I feel like her career is definitely interesting. I always like to, you know, do my little research on these artists and see how, you know, what they did, like how they were from like, you know, from zero to like now.
Yeah.
And Becky G's career is like very interesting to how it unfolded for her, especially when she first came out in the music industry. I don't feel like she started off doing music in Spanish, even though she's Mexican American.
Yeah.
But now she's grown to do a lot of songs in Spanish and collabed with a lot of Latin artists. So it's really beautiful to see how her career unfolded for her.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kali Uchis, Gato G. There was a male artist, Chris Brown.
Okay.
I've actually I know there's like mixed emotions about him, but I do admire him a lot from an artist standpoint.
He is really dope.
You know, and I feel like from what we're seeing now, I feel like he's like evolving. Yeah,
absolutely.
A lot as a person. You know, he's been through a lot and done a lot of things that he shouldn't have done.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but I feel like where he's at right now, it's also like inspiring in a way.
And I feel like a lot of people like to take a shit on him because of his past.
Right.
But you can't knock he's evolution. He's evolving, dude. Like even as a rapper, like he just came out with a diss track towards Quavo.
What? I didn't know that.
I didn't listen to it, but I was
Fire
on Twitter.
Fire. And it's like, he says it in the song, you get embodied by a singing nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, shit.
And he can dance his ass off. I love the way he dances.
He's very talented.
He's a great all-around performer.
Yeah, he is, which is why I really hope that he continues to become like a better person and, you know, continues to evolve because he's very, very talented.
Yeah,
you know? And then after him, I would say Shakira for sure.
Okay.
I've always admired her since I was a child. And then after her, Selena.
Okay.
And in no particular order, it's just
no particular order. That's like who I could think on top of my head.
All right. My last question. What kind of experience have you had as a female artist in this industry? Because you know how
that is a good question.
There's a lot of, I wouldn't say male dominance, but I feel like there's like a lot of female artists there than there was back in the day, especially in this genre specifically. How has your experience been as a female artist in the industry?
Honestly, I mean, so far, like, nothing tragic has happened, like, thankfully. And unfortunately, it sucks that I have to say that, but, you know, as we all know, a lot of Latin, not Latin artists, female artists specifically, some of them have gone through, you know, traumatizing things being a part of the industry. And a lot of that has been coming out, you know, as of late, especially with the scandal with P. Diddy and all that.
Oh, yeah?
That's just one thing I really don't. I hope that doesn't happen to anyone, especially myself. But I think the biggest thing for me is like I've had to create boundaries with certain men that I came across.
Yeah, that's so important.
Yeah.
In the industry because they were trying to make a pass or they were being unprofessional. They were being unprofessional, and I had to make sure that I stood my ground with them, and it sucks, especially being a woman that we have to do that or that we have to like at times like prove ourselves.
Yeah.
And also like protect ourselves. Like I remember like yesterday someone said to me like, oh, when you're trying to go to certain places, especially traveling, make sure you're not going by yourself.
That's true.
And I'm the type of person, I'm like, how they say in Spanish, una atrevida. I'd be like, nah, I'm going by myself. No one wants to come with me. This person don't got time. I'm going.
I see.
But I also know that you do have to take precaution because
absolutely.
You never really know what could happen. And so, but for me, the biggest thing is just like males, certain men, being unprofessional and just thinking, not with their head, of course, and stuff like that. So, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It really is.
Yeah, we pray that this journey just gets nothing but better for you.
Absolutely.
And nothing bad happens to you.
Nothing but the best
and
for
if
you.
something does tragically happen, may God use it in a blessing way. You know what I mean? So if you want to shout out your social media.
Yes. So y'all can follow me at Yelena Music. My link tree's on there. So, all my music available on all platforms. Just click the link tree on there and you'll find all my other social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, what's the popular one? TikTok, But follow me on Yelena Music and you'll find the rest on there.
There you have it, guys. And she's coming out with a new single on the 24th called La Rosa. Yes. Get it, watch it, listen to it, blow it up, run it up.
Yes.
Please do.
Show her some love.
Yep.
Yes, appreciate it.
This is the Everything and Anything podcast. Thank you for viewing. And we out.
We out.
Yes. Hola, mi gente. It's your girl, Yelena, or La Rosa. And you're watching me on Everything and Anything podcast.
No soy la misma mujer que tú conoces de ayer. Me voy lejos de tu piel.